It's my pleasure to welcome Orlando City SC as Major League Soccer's 21st expansion team. Yeah!
It's the end of an era. The final USL Pro season.
Takes a shot, and it's a goal! Orlando City!
There's a target on our back, but we've only got one mission: win. 2 goals, a ball, and a culture defined by success.
Make sure we get up to the guy, Jeff.
Don't think we're just going to overlook this season. After all, we have a title to defend.
From the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex at beautiful Walt Disney World Resort, this is USL Pro Soccer 2014. Tonight, undefeated Orlando City hosts the expansion OKC Energy. Good evening and welcome to another YouTube broadcast of Orlando City and USL Pro Soccer. I'm Jeff Radcliffe, so glad you're with us again tonight. We've had a 3-week hiatus and joined as always by Tom Traxler. And boy, it seems like we've been a while since we've been here, but Orlando City has been busy. Just 8 days ago, they faced this team in Oklahoma City's first ever game.
Yes, and you know that lyric from the Oklahoma musical, Oklahoma where the winds go sweeping down the plain? Well, it doesn't just so happen to be lyrics. It happens to be the gospel truth out in Oklahoma because there was about a 30-mile-an-hour headwind that was happening out there, which certainly affected that game. But it was a 2-1 affair. Obviously won by Orlando City. Not quite that close with Oklahoma City getting their goal really late on in that match.
Yeah, Stephen Perry in stoppage time. It was a game that was bossed by the Lions. And if you look at the series history, well, there really isn't much. This is just the second matchup, as we just mentioned, 8 days ago on the road. It was the home opener for Oklahoma City. To get a second win, as we see it right there, was the home opener at Pribble Stadium, and very nice. They had 4,500 fans, I believe, and Orlando City handled it well, getting that 2-1 win.
Yeah, well, Orlando City, like I said, going out to a 2-0 lead. One of the facts that I find really interesting, Jeff, is that the lone goal scored by Oklahoma City was their first ever scored in USL Pro, and it was scored
just before the game ended.
Yeah, it was scored by Stephen Perry, who not only plays for Oklahoma City, obviously, but that is the field where he played his high school career.
Yeah, Bishop McGinnis.
How special does that have to be for Stephen Perry?
Absolutely, an Oklahoma native. And our key player for Oklahoma City will not be Stephen Perry. It is the loanee who is very familiar to Orlando City fans. You see him right there, the man they call Dookie, Christian Duke, who was loaned from Sporting KC last year, played the entire season in purple. Now he's wearing the green and blue. And what kind of player is Christian? Is he's now loaned from Kansas City again? Is Oklahoma City a partner?
Well, he's a very focused young man, Jeff. He's determined to make it to the MLS. And I'll tell you, every time I used to go out to Orlando City training sessions, I would see Christian Duke out on the field first, and I would see Christian Duke out on the field last when I left. He's a hardworking player, Jeff. He's a smart player, and Oklahoma City are very lucky to have him.
For Orlando City, the player to watch is a player who's been on fire lately, both in league games and in friendlies. Adama Mbenge has a goal and a couple of assists, and he's really kind of coming into his own as, boy, he could be a future for the Senegal national team. I'm thinking if he keeps playing like this.
Well, since his reintroduction back into the lineup, you talk about being on fire. That has been the Orlando City attack. Since Adama Mbenge's come inside, you've seen a lot more goals from Orlando City. This is a guy who definitely loves to attack, and he has got the hammer of Thor
he does.
on his left peg. And when he catches hold of it, look out.
Well, we mentioned this game first in 3 weeks at home. It's a quick pit stop and then back out on the road for Orlando City. Here's the home schedule. They got 3 on the road, Pittsburgh, Rochester, and then Arizona United. And finally, they'll come back home late May 21st, and then the Charleston Battery after that.
Yeah, indeed. A lot of neat home games coming up. I look at the Montreal Impact Reserves, really looking forward to seeing them visit here to ESPN's Wide World of Sports, and the LA Galaxy too, and the always entertaining matches with the Wilmington Hammerheads.
Well, we're minutes away from soccer. We'll take this time out to listen to our national anthem, which will be performed tonight by Naomi Bradshaw. You're watching Orlando City Soccer here on YouTube. Supporter section's full. And here's a look at what Oklahoma City, the Energy FC, will be throwing at Adrian Heath's Lions tonight, as Kevin Ellis, Kyle Miller, Gareth Evans, and Tarek Murad will be the back four. In the middle, in a 4-3-3 formation, you'll see Christian Duke, and then Philip Lund out on the right, Michael Thomas on the left, and two guys that can bomb up the left side. You've got Stephen Perry on the right, who we already talked about, Ada Jaziri, who's a Denmark player, and then Kyle Greg is the forward, who will be the target forward up top. For Orlando City, a very familiar lineup. They've had this for the last couple of games. Miguel Gallardo, the keeper. Justin Clark in there for Rob Valentino, who's still nursing a bum ankle. Tyler Turner on the right, Luke Bowden on the left. You'll see both of those two make the runs up top. Adama Mbenge, Kobe Spann, Jordani Alvarez there in the midfield. Same with Molino, who has had a really good season so far with 4 goals. Darwin Seren holding back, and Dennis Chin will be the target forward up top for the Lions, coming in 4-0-2 with 14 points. They are tops in the league right now with LA Galaxy 2. Our officials tonight: Marcos De Oliveira is the center referee, is assisted by Agostino Minnesola and Matt Niskanen. Javier Castano is the 4th official on the near touchline. Orlando City will be in the familiar purple, and you gotta love the colors of OKC Energy FC, kind of a lime bright green. Unlike any other in USL Pro, they come in 2-3-0, just 4 points. That last meeting, Orlando City was their last game. That was a game in the loss column. And you know, Tom, they really want to get back at Orlando here tonight.
Well, you know, anybody coming in here to ESPN's Wide World of Sports is know they're going to be in for a battle. Orlando City, they're not the champions for nothing. They're not 2-time champions for nothing. So they come in here and they know they have to give everything they have, sometimes just to stay in the match with Orlando.
Moments away from kickoff, so Orlando City will be moving left to right across your screen. We welcome everyone watching on YouTube, especially those back in Oklahoma City watching their expansion lads, the Energy FC. Very, very proud of what they were able to do in their first home contest as far as bringing the fans out. So they'll be a force to be reckoned with as they perhaps looking at MLS in years to come. But right now, trying to find some success here in USL Pro. We are underway here at ESPN Wide World of Sports, your home of the Lions in 2014. Orlando City back here just a few days after their 3-0 win in the I-4 Derby against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. But this is a league game. This is what they point to.
Yeah, this is the bread and butter, Jeff. This is what you play for. Those other games don't really count on your record, but this does. This counts for your playoff seeding, and these are the home games. You don't want to drop your home games. You want to make this a fortress, and Orlando have done that throughout their history. Whether it be the Citrus Bowl or here at ESPN's Wide World of Sports, their home turf has been their fortress.
Left side as Luke Bowden, he's been combining very nicely with Adama Mbenge here in recent weeks. So those two try to form that partnership. We know that Bods and Jamie Watson had that thing going the last couple of years. Now Mbenge trying to move in and do the same thing.
Well, yeah, you know, chemistry takes time to work out, and Luke, as well as Adama Mbenge, they're both Bowden and Adama Mbenge, they're both very attacking-minded players. Luke, as you know, Luke Bowden is a reformed forward. He was a forward. They took him all the way back, and now they've made him a fullback. But, man, does he get forward on that left side.
Oklahoma City coached by Jimmy Nielsen, the 36-year-old, just retired Sporting Kansas City goalkeeper, who had a big MLS Cup in which Sporting KC beat RSL in penalty kicks, and then he immediately retired and then became the head coach. First ever coaching job of any kind for Jimmy Nielsen.
And no pressure.
No, not at all.
You know, though, if I were to take over, or if I was to get a coaching job, I think I would want to take an expansion team. I'm the first coach ever in this history. I get to put this squad together in the way that I see fit. I think that's fantastic. All these players are in here because he's brought them in. So that's exciting for Jimmy Nielsen.
We talked a little bit about Christian Duke in that lineup. You have two other loanees that were here for Orlando last year, and Kevin Ellis and John Kempen, who is the starting goalie, as Oklahoma City forming that partnership with Sporting KC as well. Matter of fact, Sporting trying to, I guess, opt out of what's going on here. They've got the one loanee in Mikey Lopez, but next year they're going to be rivals of Orlando City in Major League Soccer. So trying to form that partnership with OKC a little bit more.
Well, I think they've looked ahead, and they know that, you know, Orlando City's trying to put together a squad of players that they think, look at that.
Boy, Philip Lund's put it right on frame, and Gallardo has to come off his line to keep it safe.
That one was hit quite hard. And obviously Miguel Gallardo could not keep hold of that, and it caused a little bit of panic in the box. There was a little cleanup job to do. Cleanup aisle 2.
That's right. 3 minutes gone by. Oklahoma City trying to build some attack here. We'll come all the way back.
You know, Jeff, you were talking about the relationship between Sporting Kansas City and the Oklahoma City Energy, and then, you know, Orlando City having somewhat of a relationship with them. But, you know, if you're Orlando City, you don't really want to have a lot of loanies this year. You don't want to bring in players that you're really grooming to make better for your competition. But it makes a lot of sense for Oklahoma City to have those players, and for, obviously, Sporting Kansas City to set up another relationship with the USL Pro side.
Here's a rollout to Justin Clark, getting another start at center back tonight. In the absence of Rob Valentino, the former Defensive Player of the Year in this league. Now left side, Luke Bowden.
You know, you talk about that, and it's not just a loss of a player, because the position can be filled. But in Rob Valentino, you've lost leadership out on the field. He's a leader. He's captain. So, you know, you take the captain out of a squad, and you've got a bigger loss than just a player in a position.
Missed that last game against OKC as well. And here comes the Lions. You'll see them build to the midfield a lot. Headed in the air. And back out the center, Yordani Alvarez. Now Darwin Sarin more in a withdrawn midfield role these last couple of games after being more in an attacking role earlier in the season.
Well, it's really where he's most comfortable. He likes to come from deep.
Oh, Span had a nice effort looking for Chin up top. And again, in our last home game, we've had a very different starting midfield than we do here in the last few games.
Well, there was a change that was made. Austin Deleuze has come out of his position, been replaced by Adam Mbenge. You've dropped Darwin Sarin back a little bit deeper where he's a lot more comfortable. And then you've put Brian Span, or as we like to call him, Kobe Span, has gone in that number 10 role, if you will, sitting right underneath Dennis Chin. Dennis Chin has been inserted as you would say now, the full-time striker. A little bit of a change there. They'd started with Corey Herzog the first part of the season. And it paid dividends. I mean, they immediately went out to Dallas and scored 3 on the Dallas reserves. Then they scored 2 against the Oklahoma City Energy.
Oh, nearly. Ball taken away.
And then, of course, 3 in the latest midweek game. So these changes in the lineup, you know, have generated 8 goals.
Oklahoma City trying to keep some possession here as they'll play the ball back to the left. And now quickly lost into touch. It'll be a throw now for Orlando City. Brian Span, player we saw score the winning goal against Charleston Battery here back on the 12th of April, and he has been a starter ever since, the FC Dallas loanee.
Well, he's big, strong, good in holding the ball up. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and obviously has a nose for goal.
He has played against Oklahoma City Energy 3 times now. This will be his 3rd game because he went back to Dallas from his loan to play against OKC in a victory.
Well, that's
it was a 1-0 victory, and then turned around and suited up for Orlando City in his next game. So 3 straight games against his team.
Yeah, that's one for the history books for Oklahoma City Energy. Who's the player that's played against you the most? Well, it's Brian Span. He's played against 3 times.
Kobe, as he likes to be called, native of Westchester, New York, and played at the University of Virginia, an ACC powerhouse. Now here's Lund, Philip Lund, player that Adrian Heath said really liked, looked maybe bring him in earlier this season. There's a guy he was looking at who's native of Denmark. Figure with Jimmy Nielsen being of Danish persuasion, bringing a couple of guys from Denmark, as he and Jaziri, the forward.
We're bringing people that you're comfortable with, right, Jeff?
Yeah, you see Jaziri there, number 11, 6'5", as he'll concede this free kick outside of the 18-yard box.
And Jaziri is a handful, Jeff. He's quick, he's strong.
Spent the last couple of seasons at Blackpool. Boy, far post. The header is right on frame, but Gallardo with his big paw sends it right back out, and here comes Orlando City on the counter, held up.
Well, it was headed down and right, forcing Gallardo into a big save. He had to parry it down in the middle of the box. Of course, anytime you parry it down in the middle of the box, anything could happen. You certainly want that thing clear and away, but Miguel doing everything he could to keep it out of his own goal.
See Dennis Chin streaking down the right side. Very easy to see in those bright yellow boots. Seren will make the switch with Alvarez ahead. One-touch passing, that triangle that you come to know and love when you're Orlando City. Now to the left. Quick 1-2 touch to Bowden. Will try to get the left foot on. Just outside the 6, cleared away. Now drilled from distance. And missed it by that much off to the left. Didn't trouble Kempen too much, though.
Yep, there's Luke Bowden getting forward, as you saw. Nice 1-2 combination. Driving a ball into the box. Just cut out by a defender, but he definitely had trailing attackers coming in. And that's what they like to do. Get on the other end of those low-driven crosses. They get a lot of bodies into the box, Orlando City.
Kempen will drill it away. He was the first homegrown player for Sporting KC and spent the last 2 seasons on loan, first to Orlando and now to OKC Energy.
I'll have to wonder if the fan group, the Iron Lion firm, and the Ruckus, if they're gonna give John Kempen a pass. They're usually very very tough on opposing goalkeepers. But being that he was a part of the family last year, so to speak, I wonder if they'll give him a pass tonight.
I doubt that.
But I think you're right.
Moves there. Diagonal ball to the right. As moving up is Turner. It goes past the byline, and it appears to be a corner kick for Orlando City. Or
yes,
not.
indeed.
We hear some booing. What's going on there?
No, that's a corner, no doubt. You saw Tyler Turner take a nice little jump, a clever jump, as the defender came to clear that ball away.
He will leave it back. You see the press row with a front row seat. Now Kempen will be tested for the first time on a set piece. Iron Lion firm in the ruckus, making a ruckus. That one lifted right into that 6-yard area, and we'll reload here with Mbenge. Boy, dribbles in, shoot, deflected. Another corner coming up.
Indeed, you want to watch it when you give Adama a chance to strike. We talked about it early on. He has got a hammer with that left leg of his. So if he gets in the box and close, watch out.
Tarek Murad, number 6, getting that start tonight. His 5th appearance, just a 21-year-old, was one that cleared it away. And Mbenge lifts it. In swinger, headed just off of frame by Bowden, as he's looking for his 2nd goal of the season.
Yeah, remember that toy, Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah.
That's kind of what he needed, his neck to be there. He needed to be able to stretch his neck back a little bit more. I think he tried all he could, Luke Bowden, but he just couldn't get his head on it.
That or a Rock'em Sock'em robot. You know, when you hit the robot and knock the head up.
Either one would have worked in this occasion, but he just couldn't
70s and
quite
80s toy references, courtesy of Tom Traxler and Jeff Radcliffe.
When you listen to us, you never know what references you're going to get.
It is May 4th.
So may the 4th be with you, Jeff.
Thank you very much. Of course, Star Wars now a Disney property, so very apropos. That goes out for an Orlando City throw as they look to move forward here. Lions coming in 4-0-2, 14 points, tied for top of the league here at this point in the season with LA Galaxy 2. Lions trying to enjoy the home environment here for once tonight and then on the road for a while. Yes.
Looking forward to seeing the matchup between Orlando City and LA Galaxy 2.
Comes a little later in the season now. Dennis Chin with that pace, working in on Murad. And steps over and able to clear away. Right by the touchline, nearly saved by Turner.
Dennis couldn't make much of that after picking Tarad's pocket.
Getting into the back there. Foul not called as Molino came together with Christian Duke.
Referee says play on. Thank you. As we're fond of saying, not all bumps and shoves and pushes are fouls. What's that old from Days of Thunder? It's rubbing is racing.
So Dookie looking a little different this year. Haircut different. He had a little bit more of a coif last year. Now it's, I guess, the heat of Oklahoma. But hey, it's just as hot in Florida, right?
He's got a
the wind would mess up your hair in Oklahoma City, right?
He doesn't look quite as tan. I'm used to seeing Dookie a little tan. But he's not been hanging out in Florida, so.
Now he's a warm weather guy. At least for college, played at University of San Diego for the Toreros, was all-conference performer there. Before being picked up by Sporting Kansas City. Academy guy for them. Drilled, ball in the air.
I was always impressed with his work ethic at training. Just watching him be the first player out there, one of the last players to leave, and always working.
Well, he won a postseason award for Orlando City last year for his hard work and that work ethic. Nicely turned right now. See, sent it out left. Here come the energy, spreading it out to the right side. How does it affect him, Tom, when they're used to playing on a much more tight, basically a high school field pitch that didn't have as much width or length than they're going to experience tonight?
Well, you know, if you're going to play on that kind of pitch, you're going to be really good at one touch if you're going to keep the ball on the floor. So it certainly lends itself to getting in the box directly and quick and fast. Now they've got some time. They got some room to breathe, so to speak. There's probably about 5 to 6 to 7 more yards in total width on this pitch.
Bowden high in the air, crosses through the 18. And Chin runs back and collects, goes down about 5 yards outside of the box. And a free kick will be awarded by our referee, Marcos de Oliveira. Duke and Mbenge right there.
John, there's Christian Duke trying to, I don't know if he's trying to talk him out of that free kick, but that'd be a little hard. Sometimes you can't defend the indefensible there, Christian.
Jaziri, the forward, coming all the way back. As Mbenge with the hammer of Thor, as you called it earlier.
If he unleashes, watch out.
There it comes, has some pace.
Oh!
So close as a gasp comes from the supporter sections. And it will be a goal kick now for Orlando.
Boy, I'd like to see how he didn't get that one on target.
Fans, you can check out score, stats, news, and more exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. A goal kick by Kempen. No score here, 16th minute. Orlando City's had the better of the chances thus far, but we got a long way to go. Big header in the middle.
Big Brad Russin coming forward to win that.
And now Kevin Molino has been so active this year, giving chase. Trying to get out of dodge. Left side as Thomas. Defense closes in. We'll play it right back to Kyle Miller. Now sprayed out wide. The header made by Orlando City's Russin. And Kobe Spann now, also with those bright yellow boots. Two blazers.
It's amazing.
Two kids that can go into hyperdrive, right?
Yeah, and with those highlighter boots that they've got on.
You don't need Chewy to repair it. Saren.
No.
Lund very active in the middle now for the energy running. Tracked down by Saren. Now Turner. A little bit of skill too far out in front. Now Molino with some space to work. He'll try to play it to the corner, and that will be caught by Oklahoma City. But a poor clearance attempt into the box. Player down. And no foul call. Play on, says our referee.
Wow. Well, you know, the ball got pushed by and he goes to win it. And he goes over. Unless he's a narcoleptic, but I don't think he is. I don't know why you'd fall going around a defender when he's faced the wrong direction. I don't understand.
There's Bowden. We'll try the attack again. Coming back. And we'll make the switch with Turner. Now Seren, again, more in a withdrawn midfield role. Kind of playing back. When we saw him earlier this season, be on the creative aspect. Things changing now. Here's Mbenge.
You know, on that last attack, I was going to point out the ball that was played wide to Luke Bowden. I was going to say, you know, unless he's got a cab, I don't think he's going to get to that one. But lo and behold, he almost did. And it turned out to be a bit of a talking point in the match so far, Jeff. It's created a talking point, maybe.
Here comes the Energy FC on a counter. I have a player streaking forward on that right. This is London to the 18. He goes down, and no harm, no foul on that one either. But it should be a corner kick for Oklahoma City Energy FC.
If he'd have given a spot kick after what just got missed in the other box, there'd have been trouble at the ESPN Wide World of Sports, I think.
And big trouble in River City. Gallardo got tested there a bit. Blood pressure, I'm sure, raised. Miguel in the all red, and he was a man among boys, to borrow a bad cliche, on Wednesday night in that friendly. As Orlando City knocked off Tampa Bay Rowdies 3-0. First leg of the I-4 derby. They play it short. Now Lund can't miss him. Drills it off of the Orlando City defender, Luke Bowden. And we'll try to keep it in the attacking half. Pounded forward by Miller.
Good ball.
Lund again, far post. Boy, nice delivery there. Just didn't have somebody on the other end. And OKC chases it down. It will be out for a goal kick, Orlando.
Yeah, Kyle Gregg was lurking, but not quite in the area where that cross was delivered. Not a bad ball, though. Good shape on that cross.
Well, Jimmy Nielsen's club, not a goal kick. They'll have a corner kick here, as you see Nielsen there in the lower left-hand corner. So Gallardo now tested. You see Kevin Ellis in there backing in on Turner. Last year we saw Ellis play Turner's spot for a spell late in the season. Here is the delivery and a whistle before.
I'm going to bet it has to do with Tyler Turner and Kevin Ellis. And it does.
The amazing Kreskin, my partner.
Well, looks like Kevin Ellis was going back, and Tyler Turner's like, well, I'm not going to catch it. What's that trust exercise where, you know, you're falling back and you're supposed to catch him? Well, Tyler Turner says, we're not doing the trust fall here tonight.
You're not wearing purple this year.
If you're going over, you're going to hit the ground. That's just the way it is.
Tell you what, in that last game, Kevin Ellis and Kobe Spann really were having some one-on-one battles. Boy, cleared off the line at the last second by Mbenge.
What a header.
Well coached to stay back. And now a foul committed. Orlando City will have possession.
Well done, Orlando City, and that's why you stay on the line. Help cover your goalkeeper.
See if a free meal comes the way of Odama Mbenge, courtesy of Miguel Gallardo after that one. Now Luke Bowden.
Well, I don't know about a free meal.
Up, comes down.
He'll definitely get a nice pat on the back.
There's lefty Bowden. High in the air, 50-50 ball. Flick on header by Orlando City. Kobe Spann flicks it ahead, and Benge's fast, but not that fast.
Well, if he could let that ball go just a little bit sooner, Jeff, just a little bit sooner. If he hadn't taken that extra touch, I think he'd have had Mbenge in.
Alvarez ahead to Chin. And Orlando City will pop it to the right side. Quick turn made. Molino, it will go out for Orlando City throw right in front of the technical area. You see Adrian Heath standing there.
Saw him yelling a few things. I think he's saying, get the ball off your feet quicker, please. I don't think he had the please in there, though.
No.
I think it was a little more urgent than that.
Well, with Stephen Perry in there, we shouldn't be quoting Foreigner songs here, right?
I think we might have a few Stephen Perry Journey references. Maybe.
Before the night is done here.
I'm sure he's never heard any of those.
Yeah, what a dream, though, for Perry. I mean, outside of making to that next level at MLS, he played at Notre Dame, and now with the OKC Energy playing on his high school field where he played for Bishop McGuinness there in OKC at Purple Stadium, and then had first goal at home in the team's history. Well, has 2 on the season now, too.
That's fairy tale kind of stuff, Jeff. Does that really happen? I guess it does.
Edmond, Oklahoma native. Was drafted in the MLS in the 3rd round and played in Finland. As a lot of American players do, they tend to go to Finland, Sweden, Norway because they can get some money out of it.
Well, none of that. It's easier from a work visa standpoint than if you go to certain countries in Europe. I know it's extremely difficult for an American going to England.
Sure. Here's Mbenge. He'll send it across. Ooh. Boy, nearly a howler by Kempen. And he shakes off Molino, who is running on.
Well, like I said, Adama Mbenge, he doesn't strike the ball with his handbag. He hits that thing hard. And you just, Kempen's a strong, strong goalkeeper, and it got underneath him. So that's why you don't want to let him have a free look and let him have a go at goal with that left peg.
23rd minute. That was the first shot on goal by Orlando City in this one. As we hear the Iron Lion firm continuing to chant.
I don't know how they do it. They sing the whole game long. I'm not even kidding.
Certainly the best in USL Pro, and you know they'll ramp it up a few more notches. They'll kick it up a notch, like Emerald would say, and once we get to MLS next year. They would like another championship, though. Maybe a 3rd star before we leave USL Pro out left.
There we go. Good ball.
Held in. A shot on the way, far corner, and didn't miss by much.
Yeah, picked him out nicely with a pass, and Adama turns and tries to get a nifty ball bent to that far post. Just couldn't get it to bend enough for him. You see Giordani Alvarez playing it in, and there's Chin. Adama finds him back, and Dennis Chin is going to cut back here, and with his right, just try and bend it.
I tell you what, ever since Span and Mbenge have entered that starting lineup, Chin has had a lot more freedom to roam.
Yeah, he did. And Chin needed a bit more Jessica Rabbit on that. He needed a bit more curves. He needed some more curvaceousness. The curvaceousness needed to be a lot better.
Here's Lund. And trying to work it out of the midfield, taken away by Seren.
Is that a word, curvaceousness?
It can be. There's a shot from distance, knocked over the top by Gallardo. What an effort there on that right side. I believe that was our man Stephen Perry.
Well, Stephen Perry was looking to make the lights go out in the city with that one. But see
if in fact it was. Boy, look at that. Didn't miss by a whole lot.
Well, he definitely had good placement. He was looking far post high to chip Gallardo. Made a great effort of it, forcing Miguel Gallardo to come up and tip that over the bar.
4th shot from OKC. Here's Thomas with the delivery on the corner kick, and Russin got the hit on it first, and that's easy to do when you're 6'4". Of course, OKC's got a forward that can match that. It's Jaziri, 6'5", 200 pounds, native of Denmark.
I was just about to say, you got 6'4", 6'5" out there. You're getting an air traffic controller.
Yeah.
You don't need referees, you need air traffic controllers.
Jaziri, 25 years old. He's of Algerian descent and is eligible for that national team. And Algeria, as we saw in the last World Cup, is a force to be reckoned with in Africa. We'll see him in the future. There's the throw again, so Thomas comes all the way to that right side after delivering that last corner. Headed back in. And free to work now is Dennis Chin. See him out on the left, not having to do all the holding duties. A Span will, chip it just over the top and into the supporter section. So a shot not necessarily on frame, and Orlando City keeps testing that back line of the Energy FC.
Yeah, I mean, have yet to see him get behind the Oklahoma City Energy back 4. But they've certainly gotten in front. They've taken a few digs. That last one was a bit hopeful, but you have a go.
Kempen, now 21 years old, and has been called up to the U.S. 21 national team. So could be a fixture perhaps for Jurgen Klinsmann maybe in the coming years. There's so many good goalkeepers in the U.S. system already, which is going to make it tough on him.
Well, John Kempen, he's a big, strong young man, and a really nice young man as well.
Absolutely.
Hard worker, but very, very capable. He had to step in for Orlando in several occasions last year. In fact, during the course of the season, there was a point in time until he got injured, he had won the starting position.
Boy, dangerous ball, and got away a bit from Miller. And now Orlando City will look to build from the back. And Benge pounds it forward. Can they give chase? Not sure. No.
It was just going to get out of bounds.
And the touch throw in back to OKC Energy. You see Jimmy Nielsen there along the touchline. Boy, you got Nielsen and Heath, two of the Dapper Dans right now, with the nice dress shirts, slacks. It's always interesting to see the clothing of a coach. Sometimes they're in the warm-ups. Sometimes they're in the full suit, as Coach Evans from Pittsburgh was earlier this season.
I'll tell you what, if you're in a full suit in Florida at this time,
more power to you.
I'll shake your hand, although I'll take a towel first because I'm sure your hand will be sweaty.
A dangerous ball driven into the 18, headed away. As Justin Clark again getting the start tonight. Justin Clark, interestingly enough, had a tryout with OKC Energy FC beginning of the season before he re-signed with Orlando City.
So it worked out for him one way or the other.
Yeah, you want to find a roster. Initially not renewed by the club last year, but good security blanket back there for Russin and Valentino.
Well, I'll tell you, Justin Clark is a physical specimen. What an athlete.
And maybe an Atlanta native, but for the most part a local product, having started at Rollins College. He was an all-Sunshine State performer in that conference. And now playing his 4th game here this season. And the best part, we talked with Orlando City head coach Adrian Heath ahead of the match, said he's staying healthy, which has been the thing he hasn't been able to do the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, it's always a good thing, especially now with Rob Valentino having some injury problems, that he is staying healthy.
Seren to deliver a corner kick here in our 29th minute. Ball is on the way. Punched out by Kempen, and Lund will clear it.
Kempen came out nice and strong to get 2 fists on that one to keep it a non-issue for Oklahoma City.
Boy, ball with some backup on it. Goes out for goal kick.
Ball needed some direction. I think it lost its way. Don't know what we were looking at with that one.
Fans, you can visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. Question is, you mentioned earlier, how will Orlando City be on Kempen? Maybe being nice, but you know, what I want to know is how will the supporter group speak? Because he performed so admirably last year in filling in for Gallardo on a number of occasions. There's another driven ball over the top.
I think he was trying to chip Miguel Gallardo. I think he was trying to catch him off his line, but I think Miguel would have had that one covered.
El Capitan a little busy here this evening, as we've now played a half hour of soccer here at ESPN Wide World of Sports. The nicest pitch in the league for sure.
Oh,
they just resodded. Amazing.
Well, they had their winter grass down, and then 2 weeks ago they pulled it up pulled the whole pitch up completely, which was a gorgeous pitch, to put down their summer grass. And it is a carpet. We were out there walking it before the match.
You will play a.
I tell you, I'm fond of saying, if you can't play on that, you just can't play.
Driven over to that near side by Thomas. And now Jaziri goes down as he comes in.
Oh.
Excuse me, that was Duke, I believe. Tough to tell. Miller picks up this divot, places it back. I'd like to play golf with him.
Replace your divots.
Miller.
Yes, replace your divots.
Somebody who cares for the pitch. I'm sure the folks at Disney really liked that. Less work they got to do after the match. And you see Jimmy Nielsen talking with one of the assistant referees.
Now, what would have been better is if he would have come along with a little bit of sand and put a little bit of sand over the divot.
We'll see. Here's your captain. And Michael Thomas, another fine player for OKC. That one flicked on and sent right back out. Got a couple of former members of Notre Dame Fighting Irish collegially, Thomas and Perry. Thomas, the captain.
Wonder if when they score goals, they go, touchdown, Jesus.
Through ball. Oh, that dummy came all the way back to Orlando City. Now they'll play a little more direct here as it follows to Molino off his chest. Keeps it down with his left. Pushed off the ball by Murad. And sent in a header.
There it is.
Orlando City, Dennis Chin.
Cue the nay-nay. Looks at the supporter section. Does the nay-nay.
32nd minute, Orlando City on the board as Kempen came out, played the ball in the air, and it just fell to Dennis.
Well, we talk about it. Kevin Molino's got to get forward. He crosses it. Dennis Chin leaps up like a salmon, heads it in the back of the net, turns and says, "How you like me now?"
Dennis now with 3 goals on the season. And right into the supporter section, and they went, "Hallelujah! Our Lions are on top 1-0.
You knew something was going to break in this game. It seems like it's been kind of a little back and forth. So, you know, obviously with OKC having that header cleared off the line, you know, some shots for Orlando, the potential possible penalty call, if you will.
Collision involving Miller there, as you see Jaziri didn't get the call he wanted there from our referee, Marcos de Oliveira. It is Energy FC ball, but they do chase a 1-0 game here in our 34th minute. I'll add some time to the end of the half for sure, and now a turnover. Here's Molino, crosses there, redirect shot, and a goal! Lions lead it 2-0.
Well, how do you like that?
Alvarez.
Well, how do you like that? 2 goals in as many minutes. All comes off good pressure.
Alvarez, the former Cuban international, his first goal of the season. Here's how it happened.
Well, there you go. A nice cross in, a good finish by Giordani Alvarez to the far post. But let's credit Kevin Molino on the good forward pressure. As soon as that ball went back for OKC, the Orlando attackers, both Molino and Chin, were pressuring that ball. Molino was able to pick his pocket, get that cross in there. Giordani Alvarez obliged that cross with a lovely finish.
You make a mistake against these guys, and I think you're talking about the lineup changes, the speed difference from what we had earlier in the season. You get those guys out there, and we know how Orlando City is, Tom. Once they get a lead, they are an entirely different team because that forces everybody to come out and play.
And that's not what you want to do against Orlando City.
You want to park the bus a little bit.
You do.
Especially on the road. And we'll see a lot of USL Pro teams do that. Perhaps Oklahoma City was learning the hard way.
Well, you know what?
But you give credit. They want to play straight up. And now here's Span. Cuts it off to his left. That's actually Chin.
That's Dennis Chin.
Sends it to the right.
Tries to get by the player. Would it have been 3 goals in 3 minutes? That would have been quite a story. I mean, if you'd, you know, a few minutes ago, if you'd have said Orlando City be sitting up 2-0, you might go, what? But that's how this game goes, Jeff. It can change and pendulum swing quite frequently.
Make sure you follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all latest social media updates. Very active Twitter feed at USL Pro, and our friend Nicholas Murray handling all that. Tweets not just about USL Pro, but some English Premier League and MLS. He has got it covered. You see him everywhere.
I tell you, I have a lot of fun watching the Twitter feeds and all of the teams' YouTubes and all the things that are going on with USL Pro. They are quite on top of the social media aspect.
And they keep continuing to grow. You have expansion teams this year, expansion teams next year. This league's in good hands, even though Orlando City is leaving.
Like I said, I've got to find a new team to support.
Well, we'll see who the partner club will be with Orlando City with that MLS USL Pro partnership that has been so fruitful for both sides. This will be laid back very nicely as Lund was in the area.
Well, tries to dummy it over quite nicely, but Brad Rusin was saying, no, I know what you're trying to do.
Bowden. And Molino with a collision. He'll continue to chase. And Lund with a nice touch. And we'll spray it left. Use the width that Oklahoma City has to work with tonight. They trail 2-0 here in our 37th.
And that's how quickly Lions can strike, Jeff. Like they leapt at him from the tall grass. They didn't see him coming.
Going after their prey on a Serengeti plain.
They didn't see him coming.
Jumping on the antelope. 37th, and now you watch Oklahoma City though. They'll continue to play their way, and that's what you have to like about them. They're trying to open it up and play with Orlando City.
Well, now you have to. I mean, you're 2-0 down. You've got to search for a goal to get yourself back in this game.
Oh, nice turn made as it's sent forward, but nobody was there. One player zigged when the other zagged, and Gallardo will kick it away.
You know, Orlando City, they certainly have the goals right now. But, you know, I think the last thing you want to do is sit deep, and I can't see Orlando City doing that. I think they'll continue to try and keep possession of the ball. I think they'll continue to try to press OKC and continue to get goals. You know, 2 goals is a worse lead to have because, you know, should Oklahoma City score 1, all the momentum changes and swings back in the other direction. I just mentioned how momentum and everything changes. Pendulum swings. It swings quite hard and quite frequently.
That ball got away from Seren just a bit. And now bombing down that left side. Sent into the box, knocked back out. And appears we have a corner kick for Oklahoma City. So Gallardo is set to be tested, and there's a good chance for the visitors to probably pull one back on a set piece. We've had a couple of them here tonight. See Gallardo barking out the instructions. Nice job by Jaziri. Comes the 4th corner for the Energy FC. Get ready to send it away is Thomas. The delivery, far post, in swinger, flick on header will go out. And off of Orlando City, we'll do it again. How about change for $1 and going to the other side?
Surprised there was no foul there.
Thomas is going to be delivering them from both sides of the field.
The corner kick specialist.
Obviously, there's something he does in training that Coach Nielsen likes. So got to be on your P's and Q's defensively. We see Mbenge, who cleared one off the line about 15-20 minutes ago. From that right side, falls in at the top of the 6.
Ooh.
Rolls back. Come back to center. I haven't talked much about Gareth Evans, a stalwart in this league, playing on that back line. The native of Wales, 27 years old.
Where's he from?
Welsh, Gareth Evans. Gareth, yeah. Gareth Bale, perhaps. We knew Evans from his days at Wilmington, played 3 years there, and he was a thorn in the side of Orlando City's attackers in those years. Here's Orlando City, nice, pushing it through. And
there was a little communication breakdown. Yeah, there's a little communication breakdown there, Jeff.
Well, Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. It's Kempen to give it away. Just over 5 minutes and change to the end of this first half, with Orlando City leading 2-0.
It's funny, you got 2 teams that like to do a lot of the same things. They both like to get the ball wide. They both like to get that ball driven into the box from wide angles.
And while the Lions go on the road, is this ball being played forward right side? Ball into the box. Dangerous ball. Lund shoots and scores. They pulled one back. It is 2-1. Lund with his first goal of the season.
Well, there you go. And the momentum starts to change. It was a good ball. Played wide. Gets beyond the Orlando City left back. Right there, he's able to cut just inside.
Oh, what an effort.
Able to find Philip Lund all alone in the middle of the box.
And Duke, I believe, gets the assist. It was either that or Thomas.
And that's why you play on the front foot, Jeff. Now they're back in it. I thought all along it's going to take a few more goals to get this thing secure. I didn't think at 2-0 up Orlando was going to. They're not going to sit and defend a 2-goal lead.
Wide open game. 3 goals scored in this first half. As Mbenge now on the turf. We're certainly going to have some stoppage time with 3 goals being scored and Adama being checked out. And some sportsmanship being shown there by Michael Thomas. Bowden. Boy, wide open game. If you're new to the sport of soccer, at least professionally, this is what you like to see.
Well, you and I were talking with Orlando City head coach Adrian Heath before, and he said he thought this was going to be a good one. And as he has a penchant for being, he is right.
about Lund in the 42nd now with a goal? He began his career in his native Denmark. Signed with OKC Energy not too long ago as that ball forward, and will escort it all the way back to Gallardo. And Lund is stalwart on the Denmark U19 national team, so perhaps a future there for that country. Just 24 years old.
You never know.
And you know, Adrian Heath was thinking very highly of him to perhaps, hey, we were looking at bringing him in as well. So Nielsen got a steal there. Of course, he's going to want some players from his native country. Ball sent in, far post, cleared away. I believe it might have been Evans.
That ball was driven out a little bit deeper, and you had Darwin Sarin making a great run in the back side of that box.
Orlando City will switch it at the back. Justin Clark. And drilled to the right side, just along the touchline. Seren. And Turner up ahead, trying to get to those speedy forwards. Cleared off. Murad. Murad 6, Evans 5, 6-1 and 6-2 there. Now playing back is Thomas. Send it back center, 44th minute. Duke. Back forward. Greg, haven't called his name that much. Now he's trying to use the fancy footwork to escape, and the pocket picked of Christian Duke. Orlando City now on the odd man rush. Ahead. And Benge.
Good tackle.
Yeah, Benge and Molino there. And we'll have to retreat.
That was a nice tackle by Gareth Effens to break up that attack. Well timed.
Comes all the way back to Gallardo. Like the distribution is Greg right on him. So Philip Lund broke up the shutout after Chin and Alvarez scored 2 in back-to-back minutes. The Lions look to steal another. And Chin goes down in the corner.
Yeah, as I like to say, I think this one's got a lot more drama to come, Jeff. I think we're going to have a few thrills and chills. So hang on, buckle up, because this one's going to be bumpy.
So just 2 minutes of added time here. And yeah, into that corner. A little boxing against the flag and sent high in the air, and it will be Orlando City ball, according to every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today, or the Energy FC channel if you prefer. If they're more of your persuasion.
Yeah, they all have really cool content. They put up a lot of different content,
yeah, especially
training. And
Energy FC had a lot of midweek interviews. They really enjoyed and learned a lot about the club by watching those. They did an excellent job. They really enjoy their energy, as it was a big build-up to bring that team in, and they will move into a new stadium next year.
That's exciting. That is really exciting. You love to see teams getting new stadiums and the game growing, and this game's certainly growing in USL Pro. Quite an exciting league.
Sprayed out left. Bowden is about 45 seconds from the end of this first half. Back into the middle of the park. Heavy touch. Comes back to Turner. We'll have to race our man Philip Lund, who's now playing in a more advanced position after scoring that goal. He'll drop back now. In stoppage time, first half, 2-1 Orlando City here on this YouTube telecast. Jeff Radcliffe and Tom Traxler, as always. So glad to bring you the action with our Disney ESPN crew. Left side and Benge. Oh, great through ball to Bowden, and he's offside. And the supporter sections do not like that one.
Well, It looked like a great ball in, very close. Hard to tell from the angle that we have how off he was.
Marcos de Oliveira blows the whistle, the two-blast signal. The end of the first half with Orlando City at home, leading Oklahoma City by the score of 2-1. Goals from Chin and Alvarez, and then Philip Lund in the 42nd to make it interesting. And we have an exciting second half coming our way for sure. It's halftime. We'll be back with more as we look at the stats. First of all, here's how they shaped up. You think they'd be one-sided? Shots in favor of Orlando City. What else jumps out, Tom?
Well, shots certainly 10-7 for Orlando. No shock there, but then they're 2-up. But look at the shots on goal. That's 6-3 in favor for Oklahoma City. And you see a very busy Miguel Gallardo with 5 saves. Corners 5-3 for Oklahoma City. So this one is not done and dusted. This one is going to be one fun second half to watch.
Yeah, Energy FC dictating some pace, even though Orlando City got out to those 2 quick goals. That one coming across, the quick kick by Alvarez, and then great ball in the center, and a clinical finish by Lund, and that's where we're at. 2-1 at the half. We'll be back right here on YouTube. It's Orlando City and USL Pro Soccer. We're at the half. 2-1 the score. perhaps not pleased with that first half, even though his side leads it 2-1. Jeff Radcliffe, Tom Traxler back for the second half between Orlando City and OKC Energy. And Tom, how do you think Inchy took that one into the locker room?
Well, I think he'd be very pleased with the fact of the way the second goal was created, because he loves to have his teams come out and pressure high. And that's how that goal came, off really good pressure. A little bit of miscommunication in the back between Miguel Gallardo and Luke Bowden, which enabled, well, it had Miguel Gallardo off his line by a considerable distance when Philip Lund was able to tuck that chance away for Oklahoma City Energy. And it was created nicely. I believe that was at Christian Duke on that assist.
Getting word that it might have been Michael Thomas. We'll take another look when we see the highlights.
Could have been Michael Thomas, but he cut inside. He got wide. Miguel goes to play it, and Luke Bowden comes across, and he cuts just inside Luke Bowden, which obviously then has Miguel on the floor. There's your miscommunication. Ball gets centered to Philip Lund. Goal, and we've got game on for sure. If you're Orlando, I think you want to come out and continue to pressure high. You want to continue to make Oklahoma City uncomfortable in possession. And if you're Oklahoma City, let's continue to get Philip Lund forward as much as possible. Let's make sure we get Jaziri and Stephen Perry and Michael Thomas on the ball and get good service into that box. That's caused a lot of problems. It's created a lot of corners for Oklahoma City Energy and created a lot of shots on target. I mean, I think we looked their shots on target. They were out shooting on target, Orlando City, even though Orlando City's out shooting them, I think, 10-7 in the match.
Best seat in the house, that young lad we just saw a moment ago. And Oklahoma City in the green will kick off now, moving left to right. They've made this a game. Philip Lund knocked home his first goal as a member of Energy FC. And we'll see what adjustments do, in fact, seem to be getting made here. And boy, immediately Orlando pushing the ball forward, and Benge earns a corner kick.
Well, he did earn a corner. I thought he was going to have a crack there, probably a few touches before he did. It looked like he had the opening, but he chose to try and get it maybe another extra touch, which forced him in another extra touch. Has a strike, gets a corner. But that comes off good pressure. We just talked about that. If you're Orlando City, you want to pressure high. You want to make their back four uncomfortable.
Here comes the corner. Seren will deliver. Drilled low to the top of the 18. Orlando will look to hold or no. Oklahoma City will play it forward. How about the speed? A little obstruction there by Orlando City. And there's the yellow being shown.
Tactical foul. Had to do it. He had to get in the way. He was going to go by, and you couldn't allow that to happen.
Tyler Turner, I believe, picked up the card.
Both of them ducked out of the way. That was possibly Michael Thomas and Luke Bowden. Actually, it was Stephen Perry and Luke Bowden both ducked out of the way. Ball goes out.
How about the nifty move by Dennis Chin? Turns on the Jets. Dennis with the left settles, cuts back, jukes him out of his shoes, and scores! Dennis Chin's got a brace. Orlando back in front by 2.
Well, again, Dennis Chin. He gets a great ball from the throw-in. Races around his defender. Just as the defender catches up, you're going to see him pull it back. So here he comes. He's going to go. Hold on. Oh. Sells it lovely and tucks it by John Kempen, who looks up in the sky in disgust.
Dennis stopped on a dime and gave Gareth Evans 9 cents change and then scored the goal. Got his money's worth there.
Very good.
Gareth Evans, very unfortunate slip. And Orlando now, thanks to Chin's third, make that 4th goal of the season, now back in front by 2.
Well, that's the way you want to start the second half. Get a goal early, because now you're taking the momentum back. Momentum looks like it could have been swinging toward Oklahoma City Energy. With that goal, you're going to seize the momentum back. But it's all going to be about continuing to put pressure on Oklahoma City.
And it goes back to the pace of Chin, Molino, and Benge, Span. That really is a big X factor for Orlando City. And it's all about getting those goals early so they can open the game up and play the style they want to play. And now on the move again. How about that ball from Molino as Span just was caught a little short.
Defender had a read on it, but boy, you thought you were going to see Brian Span on the other end of that one.
And here is Ellis. And now it'll be sprayed out to the left. Switch is made. Nice bit of footwork there by OKC Energy. Back to the middle, and the ball is turned over. Orlando City will look to counter, and they'll do so quickly. Ball got away on the touch. And now Tyler Turner picked up that yellow a few moments ago.
He had to do it.
Better be safe than sorry. 50th minute. Saran back and forth with Bonds. Pushed in the back. Lund tries to close in, can't do so quick enough. Now Alvarez, who had that goal back in the 34th minute. All direct traffic. And now Justin Clark began the switch. Benge, boy, plays that well. And now going back, Kevin Ellis had to keep him in front. Adama, and has that one taken away by Christian Duke, who's seen that move in training last year for sure.
Well, he's no stranger to the way Orlando City want to play, that's for sure.
1-2, it did the same thing. That one off the left foot of Mbenge. Duke took it right back.
Fellas, you guys are trying to play to the people in purple.
Mbenge will try it again, this time earn the throw in. So deep defending will be necessary for Energy FC here. Ellis was the one to put it out.
Orlando City off to a great start so far in this second half, Jeff.
All played, handled by Russin. Will make the switch with Clark. Now Alvarez over to the right side. High pressure defense comes in. And now the 1-2 freeing Span.
Lovely worked. That was very nice passing. Very nice one-touch passing.
Like that Chin. Now he and Span both wearing those yellow shoes. Very similar profiles. It is tough to tell them apart. But so far, Chin has been the one playing up a little higher, which is by design. Span staying a bit back.
Sean Kempen's asking ref, hey, can they speed this up a little bit?
From the corner, and Mbenge with the left. Drills it low, cleared away. Lund gives chase. And now Adama now on that right side with the left foot curling in, headed back out by Murad. Change for $1. Sprays it just to the right. A lot of pace on that ball as we've got the goal kick. Scores, stats, news, and more. Fans, you can find that exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. Kempen surveys the field in front. Lets it fly here in our 52nd. About to turn to the 53rd minute on the clock.
Survey says Orlando City won the header.
Now Lund playing a little bit more on the right now, able to get through a jersey tug. Nobody saw it. And it comes back, no fuss, no muss.
You saw it, Jeff.
Got to slow him up a little bit. He let go quick.
You thought the jersey had handles on it.
Played back to Kempen. We'll make a distribution. He's Evans in front of him. Evans. Now Kempen sends it high in the sky. Header Seren. Race to the ball. And Oklahoma City will have possession. Ellis. As soon as they get possession, Orlando City able to take control of any heavy touch. Of course, they're used to this surface.
This is home, although it's a brand new surface from 2 weeks ago. Now, they did play on this surface on Wednesday night, but 2 weeks ago, the last home game, they had a different surface. They had the winter surface down.
Different grass variety, perhaps.
Yes,
Some sort of Bermuda.
Yes, now they've got the summer Bermuda.
Oh, how about Kevin Ellis? Played that one well. Waits for some help into that corner as he battles Adama and Benge. And Ellis now going down, clutching his right knee. So this will be of concern to Jimmy Nielsen, and more importantly, back in Kansas City, any SKC fans watching. And we'll check in on Kevin. We don't want to see this. You don't get sent on loan to suffer a tough injury.
Well, the two guys in the corner don't seem too concerned.
There's Nielsen. Trainer is out.
I think as Adama came in to block that down.
Seemed like a non-contact injury, which is not a good sign. Don't want to speculate, though.
Yeah, as he came in to knock it down and he struck, he might have either struck the bottom of Adama's boot or Adama's boot came through. Hard to tell.
Comes another corner. Seren eyes the target, sends it far post, punch right up in the air by Kempen, falls inside the 6, and Lund gets a header on it, and then chipped forward. Here comes the break, but nicely held in by Justin Clark. Fans visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. It was created, you the fan, in mind.
Comes that high pressure.
Good news, Ellis is back up, limping a bit. Boy, that one went up right near our camera there on the near side. Russin will retrieve. It'll be Orlando City throw. Bradley. That's what his mom calls him, I believe. Brad Russin.
Only when he's done something wrong.
Bad, yeah. It's like me when I get called Jeffrey. It's never good, especially when you add the middle name, Jeffrey Joseph.
Yeah, you know you've made a mistake then.
So glad you're with us here on YouTube. USL fans in Oklahoma City for sure watching. Certainly appreciate it. I'm Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler, your regular broadcast crew for the Lions here the last couple of years, and we enjoy every minute of this. We will certainly miss USL Pro. It's been really good to Orlando City and good to our broadcast as well. And it's out Orlando now on the run, leaving it back. Still alive, and Benge puts it just off to the left. Ellis there to defend.
Yeah, it got a little bit away from it as the ball came in. He wanted to get it down and get it struck, but it just didn't sit for him. And he tries to snatch at the finish and pushes it wide.
So it is good to see Kevin back up after a scary moment there a few minutes back.
And to say, to go more on what you're saying, I'm going to try to enjoy every single one of these USL Pro broadcasts that we have left, because I've really enjoyed every second of calling these USL Pro games.
Fourth and final season of Orlando City USL Pro Soccer, as we will become the 21st MLS team next year, joining NYCFC as the two expansion franchises, and we're going to have a few more in the coming years. Miami, perhaps. Atlanta has been announced as well, and now there's a battle for the remainder.
Well, look at this.
It was Dennis Chin, runs right on and nicely slid away by Gareth Evans, who is a professional.
Well, that's the second time tonight he's had to make a really timely challenge to stop an attack.
Gareth, 27, spent some time in the Welsh Premier League from 03 to 09. That is a lot of time overseas in his native land.
Indeed. You know, while Orlando City is heading the MLS, I know the fans of Oklahoma City, as well as the fans of these other USL Pro teams, have a great league to support, and a very exciting league to support and watch.
As we mentioned earlier, there are ambitions to follow suit, use the same formula Orlando City did, build it organically, and then take it to the next level. Who says they'll stop at 24? As the soccer Don Wants to expand. Now OKC with the chance. Sent across and sent right off the face of goal.
Wow.
And Lund scored himself as he slides foot first into the net.
He's caught. He's like a tuna. He's trapped in the net.
The Danish tuna.
What a shot.
Boy, what that shot drilled was curling to the far post.
That was a very thoughtful ball toward the far post.
That was out of Jaziri.
Well,
wow, what a ball.
The chance before that was very close. That was squeaky bum time for the Orlando fans.
Gallardo with the goal kick. Directing traffic. Former league goalkeeper of the year. Yeah, getting back to that conversation, you have Oklahoma City perhaps eyeing MLS in the future. And then how about Sacramento in their home debut with over 20 grand in the stands. Of course, that was like almost a 2-year buildup for that franchise. We'll see if they keep it up. The only thing you didn't like was the football lines on that field they're playing on. Of course, they'll go into a new stadium next year just like Oklahoma City.
Well, you know, and that's going to be great. And you know, when the bigger story for me was 20,000 people plus, you know.
Broken a USL Pro record held by
Orlando City.
Now, it did not break the overall record, which was set in the championship game last year against Charlotte, that 7-4 Titanic struggle.
So, yeah, Titanic struggle to defend.
11 goals scored in a final. And you have to believe a lot of new fans jumped on board. Hey, we're going to get 11 goals. We'll watch soccer.
That was a hockey score.
Oh, boy. Only an all-star game will you see 7-4 even in hockey. Oh, that one just stayed inside. Lund looking impressive there in the midfield. The switch is made by OKC. Too far out in front for Stephen Perry. 3-1 our score. We've played just over an hour, and Tom, we're at that time where we're going to start seeing subs enter the game this next 10 minutes or so for each side.
Well, you're definitely going to see some changes to go more attacking for Oklahoma City Energy for sure.
As if they haven't had a good job attacking already. They've had some really quality chances, especially in the last 5 minutes. Ball over the top. Here's a run by Chin, who's really been out on that wide side a lot tonight. And he's got a brace right now.
Everybody else is still trying to catch up to his Chin. That's why Cross came in, nobody was there.
Shooting out the back of his shoes, a la Back to the Future.
Jump in gigawatts.
That is heavy, Doc.
There's that word heavy again.
Oh, what a great movie. That and Ghostbusters, man.
There's something wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull.
Christopher Lloyd. Out right now, Orlando City. Turner ahead, one touch, player down, free kick Orlando. I'll bring it back. Now OKC after this one will have a couple of home games coming up this weekend. They've got Orange County, and now we've got our first sub.
Well, new face for Orlando City.
Yeah, Botello Jean-Jacques. So he will come in for Tyler Turner there at right back. Well, and Botello is the newest addition to this roster, native of Haiti, who signed a couple of weeks ago.
Well, good change. You know, with Tyler Turner being on a yellow card, you're you know, into the 63rd minute. You don't want to take a chance at going down 10 men.
Stephen Perry checks out. And boy, dangerous ball there for Orlando. And Energy FC dodge a bullet.
Brad Russin got up, headed that ball back toward the far post. And Dennis Chin just missed the ball coming in.
Adnan Gabelagic. Say that one 3 times fast. One of the new signees for OKC Energy. So a couple of the newest members of each roster checking in. The rookie out of St. Louis U. Make sure you follow us at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest Twitter updates. Follow that timeline closely. You get all sorts of information about this league and a whole lot more. 64th minute, 3-1 Orlando.
Kabelic, a native of Croatia, Jeff.
A little Eastern European flavor here in this OKC Energy FC roster.
So a little
did
Danish.
his college ball at, a little Danish, a little Western, a little Eastern. Kabelic, though, educated here in the United States. Played for SLU, that being St. Louis University, so he's a rookie. Got a couple of young lads out there. And Murad as well, just 21 years old. Graduated from UC Irvine in 2013. Energy again tonight, starting 3 loanees from Sporting Kansas City. Of course, the Lions have one as well, and Mikey Lopez. Good chance we'll see him later on. I believe he was on the sub sheet.
He is there, Jeff. He is one of the eligible substitutes for this evening. Caught a little bit of time midweek in the friendly.
Yeah, for your Lions, Pulis also available. So is Aiden Quinn and James O'Connor and Corey Herzog. So I'm sure we will see it forward to spell either Dennis Chin or Brian Spann. We'll see. Here's a turnover in the middle of the park. Benge tripped up at the last second. This may be a booking here. And the yellow is in fact shown to Michael Thomas. So the first yellow card now on the visitors from Oklahoma City.
It's a good sport, Michael Thomas. And he always comes over, makes sure someone's okay, tries to help him up. So it was just a little bit late.
Let's see.
No intent to get the player, but Thomas quick.
Grabbing the shins and making it look like it hurts probably more than it even does. 65th minute now. Here comes the free kick from Seren, who does have some nice accuracy on these free kicks. The native of El Salvador and the captain of the El Salvadoran national team. Who came to Orlando in the offseason from Juventud Independiente. And we've heard he's got a brother that's just as good who could be coming our way. Who knows? His little brother Oscar.
Keep it all in the family.
Yep, and Seren is signed for that first MLS season. He was the 3rd signee.
Hey, bring the family to Disney World, Jeff. Isn't that what you do?
Sure. Of course, Molino and Alvarez also under contract for that first MLS season in 2015. So all in the midfield. We'll see who follows suit. Of course, a lot of these players playing for that contract next year. Do not want to disappoint Adrian Heath.
No, he will be the gentleman making those decisions.
Sure.
And
he and Fuller will have a little bit of input. So will Paul McDonough, our new Vice President of Soccer Operations, who joined in the offseason.
Adrian Heath is not someone who pulls any punches. He's not afraid to make changes.
There's the throw for Orlando, 67th minute. In control here, 3-1. Had some, I would say, questionable moments there in that first half defensively. But you're playing a good side. Those things tend to happen. Now on the right, Dennis Chin probably playing his last couple of minutes in this one.
Well, you know, Oklahoma Synergy at 2-3-0. I think they're going to win a fair few games if they keep applying this the way they like to attack, bringing the ball at the wings. I was very impressed with them in the first half. Now the second half, you know, Orlando City started very brightly. It's obviously very difficult when the other team comes out and scores a goal in the first couple minutes of the half to take their 2-goal lead back. It may have deflated them just a bit, but they've definitely got in Ada Jaziri. I'm definitely impressed with Philip Lund. I thought Michael Thomas has been very busy. They've definitely got some building blocks, Jeff.
Michael Thomas, who is a former MLS player drafted by San Jose back in 2011. And can tell you Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. See a number of players with the Nike kicks. And Molino directing traffic. One more goal would make you comfortable if you're a Lions supporter.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what you want. I think you keep You keep playing on the front foot.
If results hold, Orlando will remain in the top spot in the league standings. See if LA Galaxy can stay up there with them. Right now on 14 points at 4-0-2 coming in. Move them up to 17. Oklahoma City Energy still sitting on 4 points on the 2 victories. So they've gotten a win against Orange County and Arizona are their 2 wins. Arizona, of course, rebranded this year. Last year they were Phoenix Wolves. Now they're Arizona United, and a completely different looking team. And the Lions will play them here in a couple of weeks on the 17th on the road. Third of a 3-game road trip. Pittsburgh, Rochester, Arizona. And back home against Charlotte, and then the friendly against Roma. So we'll see Francesco Totti here.
Yeah, that should be an easy game for Orlando City.
Not at all. Yeah. Last time those two met in a friendly, it was a 5-0 victory for the Italian Super Club. Ball coming through.
They got lucky.
Now that happened, I believe, it was a January 2nd friendly, as Orlando hadn't even convened for preseason. And here is the Italians in the middle of that season. It was great. We saw Michael Bradley play, Totti play.
And you'll definitely get to see Francesco Totti play this time. Now, they'll probably be without a few players. I don't know that they'll have Daniele De Rossi.
De Rossi, very popular here in the United States.
Well, he may be possibly with a blue team somewhere down in Brazil.
Perhaps. You may remember really what World Cup that was, where he took a shot. I believe it was Brian McBride knocked him out of the game, wasn't it?
Your memory would be better than mine on that one. I do remember
06. I think it was 06, and he got ejected for that one. And now Anthony Pulis. So the native of Bristol, England, actually with the Welsh background. And if you're watching from Oklahoma City, you hear the name Pulis. That does sound familiar for a reason. Ooh. Shot was saved nicely by Kempen as Mbenge looking for another goal this season.
That one was hit like it was fired out of a blaster, Jeff.
And wow, the work rate from Adama Mbenge this season has been off the charts. Getting back to Pulis, I believe Tony now the manager at Crystal Palace. There are so many years there at Stoke.
Well, he's done a great job at Crystal
Palace staying up this year, right?
Oh yes, they didn't look that way when he got there, but
that's all he does is keep teams there at least in the middle of the table and keep them up. Fulham would like to say they had a manager like him right now.
I'm sure during the offseason we will have a chance to see Tony Pulis at a few Orlando City games, I'm sure.
I'll watch his son Anthony. Pulis, 29 years old, in his 12th professional season, and has been here the last couple of seasons. Battled some injuries in recent years. He's been spotty with the time on the field, but when he's in there,
solid player, Jeff.
Very solid, especially when he and James O'Connor have been back.
Solid player. He gets on the ball. His passing is very accurate.
Fans, in case you didn't know, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube here in 2014. Features do include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. 72nd minute here. The Lions lead it by 2 over Energy FC. So looking to make back-to-back victories over this expansion side from now the new soccer hotbed in central Oklahoma. All kept in the corner. Sent out to the center of the park. Big battle along the near touchline. Orlando City will have the throw in. Coming up on that 75th minute. When we get there, you Orlando City supporters watching, it is time to vote on your man of the match. You can use that OC Game Day app and vote for that Orlando City man of the match, and a lot
I can think of two.
Particular. Yeah, I would say Chin may be the popular vote there.
I think he might be.
The 2 goals.
I would say Chin for sure. Adama Mbenge, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a few votes.
Maybe Alvarez with his first goal here in his return as a Lion after 2 years at Real Salt Lake. Of course, he was the USL Pro MVP in the Lions' first year in the league in 2011. As we're set for more substitutions from Jimmy Nielsen's Energy FC side.
That's very interesting.
Lund comes out. Lichty comes in. David Lichty, a couple of Kansas natives. He's one of them, who's a Sporting Kansas City Academy product. Didn't get the other one. And now bench being emptied here as we draw late in this one. Molino. Pulis sends it out to the right. Off his line is Gallardo. I'll just send it forward in direct fashion. Sprayed to the right. Gareth Evans will collect and send it back to the center. Ball won by Pulis. Leaves it for Soren. Ball ahead. Nicely collected there by Span. Now out right side. In front. Handled by the center backs.
Well, he wanted to find Kevin Molino, but he was in an offside position, so he had to hold it and push it wide.
We're that portion of the match with the Lions with a 2-goal lead. We'll see them play a little keep away. Soren able to keep it there on the front foot.
He's looked a lot more comfortable coming from deep to find it and then coming forward.
And Benge, one touch to Bowden. Comes right back to Adama. Can he get a shot on target? It goes just past the bar. So we hear. Because you could hear the fans there. 11
again.
For
there's
15 now on shots.
Some good combination work between Luke Bowden and Adama Benge.
As Herzog now set to check in. So Dennis Chin's night is done, but what a night it's been. He will get a rousing ovation here at ESPN Wide World of Sports. After a 2-goal performance, Dennis Chin now with 4 on the season. Put him among the league leaders in scoring.
Well, that's just what the doctor ordered if you're Dennis Chin. Get yourself a couple goals. Get you back amongst the league leaders. You know, he'll be saying, leave me on a little bit longer. I'm on a hat trick. I'm on a hat trick, coach.
That doesn't matter to him.
Nope.
Boy, shot from distance sent into the supporters.
Now you'll have Corey Sonic to Herzog.
That's right. Well, here's your time to vote on that man of the match, as we were just talking about a few minutes ago. You use that OC Game Day app and vote on the Orlando City Man of the Match.
Maybe you'll vote for Dennis Chin. Maybe you'll vote for Ndama Mbenge. Maybe Giordani Alvarez.
Still now about 15 minutes to go if you include stoppage. Could be another chapter written in this one. Now a turnover. Soren, diagonal ball left side. Here's Luke Bowden. As the defense closes in, cuts it off to the right foot. One touch to Soren in the corner. Zig when he should have zagged. And
well, I think he started to go wide and he held and Darwin said, well,
Bods is like, don't make me run.
Little miscommunication.
Run enough. Coming all the way back is Herzog, who does when we talk about work rate.
Yes.
Corey the Herzog.
Sonic the Herzog, as they call him.
Right now, the best nickname on the team. Still looking for that first league goal. He looked excellent in the preseason against those MLS teams. But now kind of in a super sub role, as Chin is now with his 4 goals has wrestled that job away.
Well, early in the season, you had Corey coming on, working really hard, tiring out defenses, then Dennis Chin would come in and tuck a ball away. Now let me see if it could be Dennis Chin working really hard. He tucked away a couple goals.
Oh, great ball by Ellis and misstruck by Gabelijic. Or
you said it right.
Close enough. My Croatian, I do got to brush up on that. Belijic just missed. And more subs coming in as we see Peebo Due will come in and Karingi as well. Everybody emptying the benches. Peebo Due started against Orlando City in that last game. The native of Tacoma Park, Maryland, played at West Virginia University and was with Phoenix FC last year. And Karingi also from Maryland, from Perry Hall, not too far out of Baltimore, and graduate of University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Former draft pick of Montreal in MLS, but did not see any action. So here he is now with OKC Energy. USL Pro, a chance to impress, make the most of the time, and perhaps move back up. Certainly now with that relationship, it can kind of become a proving ground for a lot of these young stars in the game.
Well, you saw what it did for one player last year in particular.
Absolutely. Name Dominic Dwyer, who is scorching MLS right now for Sporting Kansas City, scoring tons of goals. We'll see if he can keep that pace up, but he had no problem last year. He led USL Pro in scoring.
It's what he does, Jeff.
And that was only in half a season, really, because he got sent back. He recalled by Sporting.
It's what he does. Yeah, Peter Vermees is very, very happy that he's got a goal scorer like that, and he saw it, you know, with early season form here in Orlando. I mean, he was scoring goals like it was just easy.
They're going out of style, and he in the offseason decided to feature Dom a little bit more. Last year he was coming off the bench in the 75th, 80th minute towards the end of the season, had a couple of goals in the playoffs, and now here he is. He is the feature guy up top in it. And with the way they play defense with their attacking players and forcing bad things to happen and forcing turnovers, so they're doing basically what you see Herzog doing right now, challenging every ball. That leads to some shots for Mr. Dwyer.
Well, I think he figured out if you just leave the guy on the field, good things happen.
Sure.
He needs time, but he's a goal scorer. He is pure, plain, and simple a goal scorer.
See, Ellis and Adrian shared a little laugh there with the throw, and it's a chance for Energy FC. Lichty off to the left side. That one may lead to a corner. It doesn't. As off his line, Gallardo to keep it in. 82nd minute now here in Orlando. Kissimmee, Lake Buena Vista, to be more accurate. This is the one-year home of the Lions, as the Citrus Bowl being renovated, which will be another now one-year home in MLS. They'll play the entire season next year in the Citrus Bowl, which is going to be completely renovated, as they try to get some BCS bowl games. Excuse me, not BCS, but some of those high-level bowl games now that we have the college football playoff. And that one challenged Gallardo just a bit. Well, he's all right.
It came off of some passing that was a bit errant in the midfield. You can't afford to get complacent at all. You've got to stay sharp. It's a 3-1 lead. You've got 8 minutes and change left, plus stoppage time, but it's only a 2-goal lead. I'm telling you, 1 goal, and this whole thing could go on its head. So focus is a must at this point if you're Orlando City. Focus and sharpness.
They did allow a goal in stoppage time in that game against Oklahoma City on the road. Stephen Perry scoring that first home goal in team history. Right into their own supporter section, so at least they got something to remember that first game by. And made the scoreline a little bit more flattering. This result holds. OKC Energy will stay on 4 points. Orlando will move up to 17 with the big road trip ahead. You know what Adrian Heath always says, Tom? I'm going to try to get 4 points from every 2 games, and we'll win the league. And they're certainly on track.
Well, a lot's got to be expected out of this team. I mean, everybody's like, well, you're the big guys going to MLS. So every time you come out, people
gunning for you.
They will be gunning for you.
Now, talk about some of these players who are on one-year contracts with their current team. They'd like to be noticed, perhaps join Orlando in the future. Headed right back, Bowden off his chest as Oklahoma City looking for a handball.
Shouts go for handball, but no.
Not close. Here's Ellis. I'll drive it to the far post. Garrido thought about going out to retrieve and thought better of it.
I said I don't need to.
It's too far out in front.
I think he knew it was coming back for a goal kick anyway.
Sends it all the way past the halfway line. Dangerous ball, very important for Clark here to clean it up. He'll just pound it right down the line, but out for a throw. Time winding short for the visitors. We'll need to strike quickly here to have a chance.
Well, you saw Orlando score 2 goals in 2 minutes early in this half, so it can happen.
Well, you do have to guard against if your Energy FC is bringing too many men forward, because now Herzog has some space to work, leaves it in the back for Alvarez. Already has 1 goal. Now left side and Mbenge. He'll shoot. Big save by Kempen.
Forcing John Kempen into a fine save. But Dom Mbenge kind of go, what have I got to do to get it by this guy? I almost got it through his legs, but every time I hit it, he blocks it. John Kempen, a great shot stopper.
And now Molino down. Let's hope this is just perhaps some exhaustion. Holding that back thigh. And now stretching it out. Perhaps just a cramp. That's good. 85th minute now turns into the 86th.
He's just catching his breath.
And your man of the match, as we have just heard, has been given to Dennis Chin with his 2-goal performance here tonight. As we heard PA announcer Dave Ziemba make the announcement, and you heard the applause. Very predictable, of course. Kevin Ellis and Bods here in a moment.
Former teammates last year for a while. Soccer is a very small world, Jeff. It's a small world.
Yeah, Kempen and Ellis right there, all donned the purple last year. 7th corner up coming for Orlando City here in the 86th. Seren far post, and Pibo Due there to clean it up. And here comes the clearance. Oh, sliding in was Pulis, didn't mean to do anything, and he's shown a card immediately. Certainly there was no intent there. Marcos de Oliveira disagrees and hands him the booking.
I guess he thought maybe the challenge was over the top.
Perhaps just reckless.
Anthony Pulis was doing his best Jedi mind trick, trying to convince him that you don't want to card me. But the referee's more job of the hut.
Herzog off of the head. Mbenge giving chase. Boy, he and Ellis have battled all game. Drilled forward by Oklahoma City and then knocked out by Russin.
Of course, those Star Wars references on May the 4th be with you.
It is May 4th. It is a holiday to some.
Isn't tomorrow the holiday? Or some kind of day?
Perhaps.
Cinco de Mayo?
It is. Boy, I love that. Multiple holidays. Orlando City not done yet as they send it forward, and that's a little too far out in front for the Lions.
This game is getting drug apart. It's looking a bit ragged now. These players are tired. Starting to get very disjointed, Jeff.
Certainly has been wide open at times. Comes now to number 18. This is Nate Schiffman, who checked in recently. Now in our 88th minute. Still life being shown by OKC FC. Energy have shown to be worthy of their namesake. Boy, it falls right there into the 18 and cleared away by Pulis, who again playing with a yellow card. Now he'll have to be careful because he doesn't want to sit out the next one. And Benge stretching the legs, wait for the reinforcement on the left. Here's Luke Bowden. Challenge right along the near touchline. Fans, join us Friday, May 21st, 7:30 here at ESPN Wide World of Sports as your Lions will host the Charlotte Eagles. Rematch of last year's championship game. Hope to see you there. That will come right after that 3-game road trip. So that's a Wednesday night game. I get a lot of fans out for those midweek games. Keep that attendance number up. 89th. Molino's night is done for Orlando City. And Mikey Lopez will clean up the last few minutes for Sporting Kansas City loanee. So on the field at various points tonight, 4 loanees from the big club from Sporting Park.
So it's safe to say they may be watching this game.
Oh, I'm sure. So Peter Vermees, of course. We saw him come to training last year to watch those players that were loaned to Orlando City. Came all the way to Orlando on those weeks during the midweeks.
He's a very thorough coach, Peter Vermees.
Now he doesn't have to travel as far. He can get to Oklahoma City a little easier. That's drivable.
Yes.
3 minutes will be added to this one as we're 30 minutes away from the full 90. There's Lopez, nice win. And Mikey likes it.
Give it to Mikey, he likes it.
Lopez, a native of Dallas, Texas, and he was the ACC Freshman of the Year back in 2011 as a member of the UNC Tar Heels. Generation Adidas man, much like Rob Valentino was a few years prior. So now we are in the added time. Oklahoma City down a couple of goals. They have trailed throughout. It began in the 33rd with Dennis Chin, and then a minute later, Yordani Alvarez. Able to pull one back thanks to Philip Lund. And then early in that second half, 47th minute, Dennis Chin secured his brace, his 4th goal of the year. And that's where we stand, 3-1.
Well, it's been an entertaining affair for sure.
Set piece upcoming. Right-footed in swinging kick at the corner of the 6. A foul is the call, and possession awarded to Orlando City.
There we go.
Give it to
Where's
Miguel.
it going to go? All right, I'll take it. It comes back here.
Oklahoma now charged with 6 fouls in this one. Oklahoma City again returning home to play Orange County. Team they've already beaten, and then they play Richmond. So that'll be another tough test for Jimmy Nielsen's club. Richmond, the team with the best record in the league last year.
Always a good squad in Richmond.
The Kickers. And they're away to LA Galaxy 2, then host New York Red Bulls reserves, and then on the road at Wilmington. I tell you, when you're one of the Midwestern, Western teams in this league, a lot of long road trips.
A lot of long road trips if you're down in the South, too.
Sure. Russian pushing.
Especially you have to go to California 3 times.
Pushing his way, using that frame. I don't think Karinji liked it, but still won the ball. Bowden throws to Mbenge. Heavy touch, into touch. Back to Ellis. 2 minutes into stoppage. I reckon about 45 seconds remaining. Oklahoma trying to pull a goal back. Goal differential does matter. It's later in the season when we're looking at playoff seeding.
Usually the team with the highest goal differential wins the league.
Great ball by Lopez. And the retrieval is made along the far touch. Nifty moves.
We'll try and hold it in the corner.
2-on-1 works to Energy FC's favor. Lions with a win. Hands in the air, Marcos de Oliveira. And this one's in the books. It belongs to the Pride of Lions. 3-1. Orlando City a winner over OKC Energy FC. Handshakes around, and it will be interesting to see what Coach Heath thought of this one.
Well, I think there's moments where he could be quite happy. Some of the pressuring was good at times. You had Dennis Chin with a couple goals, so you got to like that out of your striker. Some of the communication you might not be too fond of. But he's a very hard critic, Adrian Heath.
Good effort on both sides. OKC drops to 2-4-0 on the season. They remain on 4 points. The Lions, speaking of remaining, they remain unbeaten, 5-0-2, now up on 17. They lead the league. That is their customary spot. And the final score and the final stats reflect it. 3-1 for the Lions as they outshoot Oklahoma City. But look at the shots on goal.
Well, what's interesting is that I don't think that Oklahoma City had a shot on goal in the second half. And there's your story right there. So 16 shots in all, 10 for Oklahoma City, 16 for Orlando, that is. Saves 5, and that's where Miguel was at the half. So not a shot on goal for Oklahoma City in the second half. So that's got to be pleasing if you're an Orlando City fan. 7 corners to 5, so a real domination by Orlando, especially in the second half, Jeff.
Well, get ready to pack your bags if you're Adrian Heath's side on the road. Pittsburgh, Rochester, Arizona next before coming home to take on Charlotte, and then the much anticipated friendly against Roma. The Lions, Dennis Chin, 2 goals. And then the redirect by Alvarez. And the Lions with the win. How about little slipper right there, back post. Orlando City, 3-1 winners tonight. Good night.